Dr. Priscilla Falcon. Dr. Priscilla Falcon is professor of Chicana and Chicano Latinx Studies at the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley. Dr. Falcon also directs the Colorado Oral History and Migratory Labor Project at UNC. As a prominent Chicana leader, Dr. Falcon began her career as an activist in the Chicano civil rights movement of the 1960s. Her activism led her to travel throughout the Southwest during the period of the Chicano movement. Collectively, her academic travels have led her to Mexico, Central America, Puerto Rico, and Turkey. During the 1990s, she traveled as an observer to the EZLN Zapatista National Liberation Army liberated zones in southern Mexico. Dr. Falcon has lectured on the Chicano movement in Colorado and the ongoing struggle for social justice. Her writings include a co-written essay on the politics of language and the Mexican American, the English-only movement and bilingual education, women workers and the National Floor Worker Strike, and her most recent book, Mexican Foreign Policy 1934 to 1992, exploring the nature of Mexico and Latin America's subordination to the imperial interstate system. Dr. Falcon has been interviewed for various documentaries on issues of resistance and Chicano history. Dr. Falcon was an advisory board member to History Colorado's El Movimiento de Colorado exhibit. She also worked with UNC's Michener Library on the exhibit El Movimiento, the Chicano Movement in Northern Colorado. She also engages in community-based activism through the nonprofit Al Frente de Lucha organization that focuses on youth empowerment through the Tierra Amarilla Youth Leadership Institute, building community responses to ICE raids and the symbols of resistance as a historical memory project. Dr. Falcon is both a professor and community activist. On July 29, 2022, Dr. Falcon received the Outstanding Faculty Award from the Active Women in Literature and Social Change. Dr. Falcon is the widow of the late Ricardo Falcon and mother to Dr. Ricardo Falcon Jr. Tonight, we honor Dr. Priscilla Falcon.
Hello, good evening. My name is Jason Torrez. I'm the Director of Programs at the Denver Inner City Parish, and tonight I'm presenting Priscilla Falcon. I first met Priscilla Falcon in 92, 93, right around the time that I graduated from high school. They were organizing a camp in Tierra Maria for young brown people from all over the country. We were there to learn our history, there to work together, there to talk about certain things. And I remember when I got up there, Priscilla greeted me with open arms. Ricardo did, Kauru, Daniel, all these organizers of the camp, they greeted me like I was family. And to be honest, it was the first time I ever felt like somebody was treating me with dignity outside of my home. This was the first time someone treated me, or this place and Priscilla treated me like I had enough intellectual capability to do something about my situation. And it was the first time at this camp and meeting Priscilla and Ricardo and learning all this stuff that I felt like that I felt genuinely like I was an intelligent person. Because we don't get that much where else outside of our homes and other places. And then Priscilla would come in and treat us that way. We were engaged in conversations about our world. We learned certain things that we would never learn had we not had that experience. We learned about the struggle of our people from 1848 on, even before that. We learned about the ancient cultures of Mexico. We learned all these things. We were treated like intellectual human beings. And in that, a lot of us felt like we could do something about our situation. I have carried that with me ever since. And I think sometimes the work I do with people, I try to greet them and treat them like I was treated that moment I stepped on that land. Being up there in Tierra Maria with Priscilla, and learning all the things I did and doing all the things we did up there, it helped my Well, it helped me make sense of my life and what had happened and the misery of my situation, and understanding that a lot of this was based on things that were happening in society and some of the colonial structures and paradigms that exist for people of color, and that a lot of the things that were going on as a young person in an urban area like Denver, that we were victims of the situation, but that we didn't have to be victims anymore. We didn't have to be like that. We had the intellectual capability to move past it and be part of a solution that was beyond ourselves. And so I try to do that with everyone that I work with and everyone I meet and the people that I'm responsible for in my capacity as a program director and those kinds of things. One of the coolest things I thought was happening up there with Priscilla is that here's this intellectual person who rivals the political philosophers of the day like Noam Chomsky and other people. She was there up with us teaching these things and not afraid to treat us like that and talk to us about revolutionary situations and revolutionary people like Che Guevara and Amilcar Cabral, which I don't even know a lot of people know about Amilcar, but you could tell Priscilla that was one of her heroes, and so she made sure we learned about him. She was there with us, like we were learning from her, but what was so interesting about the situation is that we were learning in classrooms up there that we helped build with her. We were in community with her. She wasn't teaching us like a professor. She was teaching us like she was part of the community. And a lot of us gravitated towards that. We had never seen education like that. We had never understood education like that. And so that informed how I work with people. And I'll always be grateful. And I think there are thousands of people that went through that experience that are grateful and are in community the same way Priscilla's in community, or the same way Priscilla was in community with us. For all these reasons, I think I can represent all those people that were affected by Priscilla's work up on Tierra Maria, at UNC, all the students that she's had throughout the years. I think I can represent all of them and say that is why Priscilla is deserving of this award.